Xi Jinping repeats this term, sending unusual signal, only one path left for China's economy. Advisorly Daokui reveals China's economic details, receives 3 calls from banks in one day. Salary withdrawal loan frenzy chills financial sector amidst negative news barrage. Frequent floods in China, CCP leaders don't bother to look. Red Sea crisis impacts global trade, Chinese merchants struggle to survive. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Xi Jinping repeats this term, sending unusual signal, only one path left for China's economy. On July 1st, Qiushi, the leading official theoretical journal of the Chinese Communist Party, published an article on employment issues, quoting Xi Jinping's speech during the Politburo's collective study session at the end of May. She said that households with zero employment should be dynamically cleared to zero. This statement caused a lot of alarm online and struck fear into the hearts of Chinese people. Netizens commented, "Chairman Xi is going to clear to zero again." Domestic self-media articles indicate that this is an unusual signal. The term dynamic clearance to zero reappears, highlighting the severe employment situation. The traditional 3 major employment reservoirs, ride-hailing, food delivery, and courier services, are all overly saturated. A very unique reality is that while only 4.4% of the total population in China are university graduates, the rate of graduates among food delivery workers has reached 30%, indicating a highly educated group. The article bluntly concludes that almost all of China's current economic problems ultimately relate to employment. Besides those who cannot find jobs, even those with golden rice bowls are having a hard time. According to Radio Free Asia, a Wuhan resident named Zhou Li said on July 2 that Wuhan civil servants have had their salaries cut by several hundred yuan each. Additionally, Zhou's niece, an executive at Hankow Bank, now has her salary cut by 30%, with salary reductions across the entire bank. Another resident from Guiyang, Guizhou province, said that the Guizhou provincial government has run out of money, with civil servants only receiving their basic salaries, and all subsidies have been cancelled. What's worse, some local governments are demanding that civil servants return the subsidies they received 3 years ago. Civil servants are paying their travel expenses out of their own pockets, with reimbursements delayed for up to 6 months, and even last year's travel expenses have not been fully reimbursed. Mr. Guo from Qingdao mentioned that both large restaurants and small eateries in Qingdao are seeing worsening business. Consumers are reluctant to eat out because they are earning less money, and even civil servant benefits have been significantly reduced. As we've reported previously, observers have long warned that after real estate drags down China's economy, the next potential crisis could be in the banking sector. This would be more severe than the real estate crisis and could lead China into a financial crisis. Recent reports indicate that the CCP is preparing to introduce the Financial Stability Law, which includes setting up funds to assist troubled banks, securities, insurance, and asset management companies. This is part of Beijing's efforts to prevent systemic financial risks. The draft of the Financial Stability Law has already passed the second reading by the National People's Congress last week. Current affairs commentator Jiang Sench stated that when Beijing wants to introduce a law, it signifies there is a problem in that area. Introducing the Financial Stability Law indicates there are significant issues in the financial sector. Jiang believes that China is experiencing the first stage of an economic crisis, with domestic demand collapsing. Prices of houses, cars, home appliances, and pork are all falling. To solve the problem of overcapacity, China is exporting cheap products globally, which has already raised alarms in other countries. If exports also decline, China's economy will completely cool down. For the CCP, the unique and only way out of the economic crisis may be to return to Mao Zedong's era of a planned economy. It is speculated that this month's third plenary session will set the tone for this return to a planned economy. According to public information, a planned economy is an economic system in which the government controls and regulates production, distribution, prices, and other key aspects of the economy. This contrasts with a market economy, where these decisions are primarily driven by supply and demand in the market. planned economies have been criticized for their inefficiency, lack of innovation, and potential for authoritarian control. Furthermore, a planned economy creates a favorable environment for the development of corruption and bureaucracy. The allocation of resources and power concentrated in the hands of the government creates opportunities for officials to abuse their power for personal gain. Excessive government intervention in the economy can cause imbalances in supply and demand, inflation, and unemployment. Historically, many planned economies have collapsed due to their inability to address the above problems. The collapse of the Soviet Union and Eastern European countries are prime examples. Advisor Daokui reveals China's economic details, receives 3 calls from banks in one day. China's economic situation continues to deteriorate, making life difficult for financial industry workers. On July 3, 2024, the 5th annual Beijing News and Beak Finance Summit was held at the CP Center in Beijing. Daokui, Dean of the Academy of Chinese Economic Thought and Practice at Tsinghua University, delivered a keynote address at the opening ceremony. He expressed concern about the current state of the Chinese economy, noting that the growth rate is below normal levels. Li explained that economic demand has not kept pace with production capacity, leading to declining prices and falling producer price indices for industrial products. This situation indicates an overly cold economy, with demand not keeping up with production. Li stressed that this issue requires significant attention. If insufficient domestic demand is not reversed, future growth rates may be limited and decline. Without boosting domestic demand, investment, supply, and technology will stagnate. He emphasized the need to accelerate and deepen reforms to enhance domestic demand. In his speech, Li also laughed at himself, mentioning that he often receives harassing calls from mainland banks. At that moment, he addressed Hu Xuewen, chairman of the Bank of Beijing, who was in the audience, saying, "The banks are now troubled by having many loans that they can't issue. We receive 3 loan issuance calls from you a day. The Bank of Beijing asked me if I wanted a loan. I wish I could take a loan, but as an academic, I don't have the investment scenarios of an entrepreneur," he told them. He added, "You have a tough job, I hope you can find people who need loans," and also stated, "I don't lose my temper at those who harass me with calls, I understand them very well." His remarks sparked widespread discussion. Some netizens pointed out that banks prefer lending to secure clients like civil servants and state-owned enterprise employees, which leaves small and micro businesses struggling to get loans, worsening the economy. Others argued that solving employment and low wages should come first before trying to boost consumption. Expecting people to borrow money to spend is unrealistic. Many noted that without stable jobs and higher incomes, demand won't increase. Prices are rising, but incomes aren't, leaving people with nothing to spend. The pandemic has eroded confidence in consumption and having children. Some highlighted that even high-ranking officials don't dare complain about harassing calls from banks, indicating a broader issue. They stressed the need to address the big issues like medical care, education, and pensions to naturally boost consumption. China's sluggish economy has triggered a snowballing wave of pay cuts across banks and securities firms. According to a report by China Business News on April 11, 2023, citing data from the Wind platform, the average salary reduction for bank management in 2023 was 13%, with some senior executives experiencing cuts of up to 40%. On July 3, news broke that a 30-year-old female employee of China International Capital Corporation, CICC, sought death because she couldn't repay her mortgage after a pay cut. However, the company denied that her death was related to financial stress, stating that it was due to personal reasons. Salary withdrawal loan frenzy chills financial sector amidst negative news barrage. Regarding the rumors of salary reductions and paybacks in the financial sector, they have been circulating widely on the internet in the mainland recently. While the Chinese people were still reeling from the shocking news of a young, talented woman from China International Capital Corporation, CICC, in her 30s, who took her own life because she could not pay her mortgage due to salary payback issues, the term payback loan started trending online. Images circulating online show someone quoting Li Xunlei, a prominent economist in China and the chief economist of Zhongtai Securities, stating, "Salaries have been too high in recent years, and some need to be returned. But if you've spent the money, there's nothing to return. No worries, the bank will give you a loan, and the payback loan makes a dazzling entrance." However, this claim was debunked by mainland media on July 4. Reports from Observer and 21 Economic Network indicate that Li Xunlei responded to the rumors in his WeChat Moments, saying, "Anyone with basic financial knowledge would know, what kind of financial innovation is this? Would regulators approve it? I also strongly condemn certain unscrupulous self-media outlets for fabricating stories to gain traffic." The reason payback loan could spark such a heated public discussion might be related to recent payback actions by several financial institutions. According to comprehensive reports from the paper and Daily Economic News, in early May this year, there were rumors in the Chinese market that public fund companies were requiring employees to return portions of their annual salaries exceeding 3 million yuan, nearly $413,000 since 2019. Some state-owned public fund companies had already initiated the payback process. By the end of June, there were further reports that a certain state-owned enterprise in China required its public fund companies to return parts of the salaries exceeding 2.9 million yuan paid in 2023, regardless of bonus periods or deferred payments from previous years. The reports confirmed the authenticity of the above information but emphasized that the payback incidents currently only occur in a few public fund companies. This kind of mandatory payback practice has been referred to by netizens as reverse salary collection. In fact, reverse salary collection happened last year as well. According to earlier reports by the paper, in 2023, there were incidents where listed banks collected salaries back from their employees. Incomplete statistics showed that at least 7 banks, including China Merchants Bank and Harbin Bank, disclosed specifics about reclaiming last year's performance salaries from employees, with a total reclaimed amount reaching 52.8097 million yuan, about $7.3 million USD. Notably, salary paybacks are not limited to the fund sector, some brokerage firms have also been targeted. Data from Choice shows that among 51 listed brokerages, 27 experienced a decline in average employee salaries in 2023. Tianfeng Securities topped the list with a 14.77% decrease, followed by China International Capital Corporation, CICC, with a 14.54% decrease. Additionally, Zhongyuan Securities, Dongxing Securities, and Guotai Junan also saw declines exceeding 10%. Among the 51 listed brokerages, none have an average salary exceeding 1 million yuan, nearly $138,000 anymore. The era of average salary of 1 million has become a thing of the past. From salary caps to salary paybacks, the financial sector in China is experiencing a chilling effect. Frequent floods in China, CCP leaders don't bother to look. Continuous heavy rain has caused ongoing disasters in China. In Pingjiang County, Hunan Province, nearly 200 reservoirs overflowed at one point, leading to severe urban flooding. The damage from this flood is hard to estimate, and there are no exact casualty figures yet. Various disaster scenes are spreading wildly online. A terrifying video circulated online shows the upstream reservoir of Chongyang County in Xianing City, Hubei Province, releasing floodwater on the night of July 1. Several people and a large amount of debris were swept into an underground garage entrance by the floodwater. It is unknown whether they were safe in the end. On the 3rd, heavy rain hit parts of Hunan Province, causing the Miluo River in Pingjiang County to rise to its highest level in 70 years. Authorities released floodwater without warning, flooding shops on both sides of the streets in Pingjiang County town, leaving shop owners unable to move their goods in time, resulting in significant losses. Some netizens pointed out that disasters have been happening everywhere this year, with continuous flooding in the Pearl River Basin for the past 2 months, yet disaster relief efforts have been quiet. Some sarcastically said, "It's understandable, the leaders are busy with money, and it's the residents who suffer." In these times, self-rescue is the only option. Another netizen commented, "The Chinese Communist Party has built nearly 100,000 reservoirs against natural laws over the decades, and now they have become old and hidden dangers. Officials everywhere are secretly opening gates to release floodwater and disguising it as natural disasters. To avoid responsibility, they don't give early warnings, leaving the people to accept their bad luck." Another netizen criticized, "In the past 2 years, we haven't seen central leaders inspecting flood-affected areas. Their acting skills are so poor, they don't even bother to put on a show anymore." The outside world believes that recently, all levels of Chinese Communist Party officials have been lying flat regarding disaster relief. From the central to local levels, there has been a general display of indifference to the disaster situation. Last year, during the severe floods in northern China, CCP leader Xi Jinping only inspected Zhuozhou and Hebei, 3 months after the disaster ended. In August 2020, when heavy rains caused disasters in Anhui, Xi Jinping only went to inspect the area a month after the floods had receded, and it was discovered that the spectators were all temporary actors. Red Sea crisis impacts global trade, Chinese merchants struggle to survive. Due to the attacks on Red Sea shipping by Yemen's Houthi armed group, shipping costs have risen, affecting global import and export trade. Global importers, including those in the United States, are concerned about freight. The Financial Times reported on July 2 that Richard Chan, manager of Golden Arts Gifts and Decor, a Christmas tree manufacturer located in southern China, stated, "We are not talking about profits this year. We just need to survive, and the Red Sea crisis is really a headache." He mentioned that this year will be the worst in his more than 20 years of career. This manufacturer's clients include Walmart, with about 80% of its products exported to the United States and Europe. The company reported that the Red Sea attacks have caused shipping delays. Therefore, his clients have requested that orders be shipped a month earlier than usual. The challenges faced by Chan's factory are similar to those across China, as manufacturers state they are struggling to meet the shortened timelines because US and European buyers are requesting early orders to ensure timely delivery for the Christmas and New Year holiday season. The Red Sea attacks have lengthened shipping times, causing a shortage of container capacity, the cancellation of Asian flights, and pushing up spot shipping prices. Furthermore, the Red Sea attacks are one of the main reasons for the surge in shipping prices. Since November 2023, the Houthis have continuously attacked commercial ships in the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean, leading many commercial shipping companies, ships, and insurance companies to avoid crossing the Bab el-Mandeb Strait to the Suez Canal. Instead, they are rerouting around the longer Cape of Good Hope in Africa, which increases costs and extends shipping times, causing the global trade crisis to escalate. According to a report by the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency on the economic impact of the Houthi Red Sea attacks, from December 2023 to mid-February, Red Sea container shipping volume dropped by about 90%. The alternative route around Africa adds approximately 11,000 nautical miles, 1 to 2 weeks of shipping time, and about $1 million in fuel costs per voyage. The analysis by logistics platform Project 44 shows that in May 2024, container ship sailings through the Red Sea decreased by 78% compared to the same month last year. According to the freight market tracking agency Zenita, at the end of June, the average cost of transporting a 40-foot container between Asia and Northern Europe rose to $6,855, a more than 110% increase in 2 months and about 5 times higher than the same period last year. CNBC reported on June 13, using the CNBC supply chain heat map, that spot sea freight prices from the Far East to the United States increased by 36% to 41% month-on-month. Shipping carriers increased additional fees by about 140%, raising the price of a 40-foot container to around $12,000. The Danish shipping consultancy Sea Intelligence estimated that if rates per nautical mile reached pandemic levels, spot freight rates from Shanghai to Rotterdam would be $18,900 per 40-foot container, and from Shanghai to Genoa, Italy, $21,600. Return freight from Rotterdam to Shanghai could reach $21,200 per container. Alan Murphy, CEO of Sea Intelligence, stated that as long as enough carriers are willing to pay these prices, spot freight rates will continue to rise. He mentioned that on the Trans-Pacific route, Asia to the U.S. West Coast/East Coast, the highest spot freight rate could match pandemic levels, reaching $30,000 per container. Price increase of imported goods in China and Hong Kong, delays in supply of U.S. and European products. According to the Financial Times, Simon Heaney, senior manager of container research at Drewry, said that global importers, including those in the U.S., are feeling anxious due to the uncertainty and disruption caused by the Red Sea crisis. He added, the crisis seems to be ongoing with no end in sight. On June 19, a ship salvage company confirmed that the Greek-owned, Liberia-flagged bulk carrier M/V Tudor was hit and sunk by 2 Houthi cruise missiles on June 12, resulting in the death of a Filipino crew member. On June 13, the Houthis launched another attack in the Gulf of Aden, severely injuring a crew member on the Ukrainian cargo ship Verbena. Heaney noted that in Drewry's May survey, about 19% of U.S. clients and 26% of European clients are planning shipments earlier due to supply chain concerns. Meanwhile, Michael Liu, president of Chinese gift box manufacturer Brothers Box, which exports to clients like Marks & Spencer and has a factory in Dongguan, told the Financial Times that shipping costs to the West have increased by 40% compared to last year. Not all of these costs can be passed on to customers. The factory is now operating on weekends to meet the demand for earlier shipments. Annie Chung, senior director of Hualong Toys, a Hong Kong-based company with production in mainland China, stated that rising transportation costs and longer delivery times this year may lead to higher prices for imported goods and potential delays in the supply of products to the US and Europe. The Red Sea attacks have caused continuous increases in shipping costs, port congestion, and a shortage of empty containers. Danish shipping group Maersk stated that ports in the Mediterranean and Asia are experiencing severe congestion, leading to significant delays in schedules. The sea is the backbone of global trade, with over 80% conducted via maritime transport. The 193-kilometer-long Suez Canal handles about 30% of global container traffic daily, accounting for approximately 12% of total global trade, making it crucial for global commerce. After the Houthis sank the M/V Tudor, major global shipping associations issued a statement calling for influential countries in the region to protect our innocent seafarers and quickly resolve the situation in the Red Sea. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.